Take a tour of the nighttime sky as we go in search of the planets and constellations on Amazing Space, continuing next from TLC.
The ancients found their fates etched in the heavens. Today's stargazer can follow the explosive lives and deaths of the stars themselves. Join us on a tour of the night sky. Next on Amazing Space. Voyager, an unlikely-looking candidate for the most successful spacecraft ever. In 1977, NASA launched Voyagers 1 and 2 towards the mysterious giants of the solar system, the outer planets. 2 years later, the first target filled their sights, Jupiter, with 1,000 electric storms flashing in its clouds. The Voyagers found massive belts of weather, unlike anything ever seen before in turbulence. This hole in the cloud deck. As Voyager approached the planet, a portrait of a colossus emerged. Circled by moons as big as planets, trailing their shadows across its immense surface. Jupiter's size overwhelms the mind and the eye. Bigger than 1,000 Earths. Bigger than all the other planets put together. Had Jupiter been just 10 times its size, it would have been a star, our solar system a binary one. But its nuclear furnace never ignited. At its center, Jupiter may harbor a tiny solid core set in pressurized ice. But otherwise, it's a huge ball of gas, hydrogen, methane, and ammonia, rotating every 10 hours. Immense Jupiter gives off more heat than it receives from the sun. The combination of heat and spin generates astounding weather bands, circulating at different speeds and directions, and creating wonders like the red spot. It's an anticyclone, a monstrous area of high pressure. When seen in infrared on the right, the source of Jupiter's tempest stands out. Hot gas driven up from the interior glows red. Colder descending gas is white and pale blue. Voyager discovered that Jupiter has rings, fine powdery remains of a pulverized Jupiter circle the Earth. Voyager's pictures of Ganymede catalog the largest moon in the solar system, bigger than Mercury or Pluto. Had Jupiter managed to become a star, Ganymede would have been a planet and a much warmer place. At -300 degrees Fahrenheit, the surface is an icy crust. Wrinkles and craters, an old and unchanged topography. Beneath the crust, a mantle of slushy water riding on a rocky core. Voyager also scanned Callisto. The probe's next encounter captured an altogether different landscape. The moon, as the others, had been rough, planet-sized ocean. If there's life to be found in the solar system, it probably resides here, in the seas of this moon. Io, the innermost of the 4 big moons of Jupiter, held a surprise for Voyager 1. Volcanic plumes. Caught in the act, amidst a sulfurous landscape, and a lake of liquid sulfur. Voyager 2 took a closer look, profiling the most active volcanic body in the solar system. Caught in the gravitational tug-of-war between Jupiter and Europa, Io erupts continuously. Its troubled surface, a crust of sulfur floating on a sulfurous ocean, is smudged with black volcanoes. Io has the only volcanoes seen in eruption other than on Earth. Their Julian mission accomplished, the Voyagers set off on the long next leg of the journey. Another splendid giant in their sights, Saturn.
Amazing Space will return on TLC. Amazing Space now continues on TLC.
Of all the planets, Saturn is perhaps the most beautiful. The spectacularly haloed planet is second in size only to Jupiter. Compared to Earth, a monolith. 75,000 miles across. And like Jupiter, it's a giant ball of gas. If you could find a container big enough, you could float Saturn in water. Years and almost 900 million miles from home, the Voyagers approach the Saturnian system. Titan. With Saturn barely visible through the haze, the view from Titan might look like this. An atmosphere rich in nitrogen, like Earth's, but denser. Lakes and seas on a moon bigger than the planet Mercury. Titan could be Earth in deep freeze. After radioing home the Titan data, Voyager performed a course correction for Saturn. And this is what it saw on the long approach. Saturn. Its famous rings and its moons. Like its bigger cousin, Jupiter, Saturn may have a tiny solid core, but the rest is gas, mostly hydrogen, some helium. Unlike Jupiter, however, Saturn cloaks its weather beneath blurring smog. But a change in filter reveals the same frantic weather bands. And track them. Top right, just discernible through the smog, Europe appeared. On Saturn, though, they blow at 900 miles per hour, faster than the speed of sound. Voyager 2 headed 100 miles in diameter. Computers allow us to explore its icy, rocky surface. Here's the view from Mimas, another rocky snowball. Tiny also, but bearing an impact scar the size of Mount Everest. Other moons of Saturn may not have been as lucky. The planet's spectacular rings probably resulted from such cosmic collisions. Their contents, lunar debris. But they were less than a mile thick, and there are thousands of them. The dark spokes revealed in these time-lapse photos may be dust, levitated above the rings by Saturn's magnetic field. What centuries of speculation were spotted? Astronomer Chris found 7 main bands of rings. Seen edge on, the gaps between the main bands of rings stand out clearly. Shepherded by little moonlets, the particles in the rings range in size from specks of dust to icy rocks as large as cars. After surveying the glories of Saturn and its silicate rings, the Voyagers would part company. Voyager 1 headed up and out of the solar system. Voyager.
Amazing Space will return on TLC. Amazing Space now continues on TLC.
Uranus, seventh planet from the Sun, broods in the dark outer regions of our solar system. Its axis strangely tilted, 1 3/4 billion miles from the Sun. Until 1986, we knew virtually nothing of Uranus. From Earth, this was all we could see. Then outward from Saturn came Voyager 2. Now so distant, we had to build bigger antennae here on Earth to keep in touch with it. With its twin, Voyager 1, heading away from the planets, Voyager 2 ripped to Uranus. The first photo failed to penetrate the fog, but the probe did detect some atmospheric turbulence. Besides the wildly tilted axis of rotation, Voyager also found Voyager counted 11 rings and found them to be wider across than Earth. Uranus itself, another gas ball with a tiny rocky core, is the third largest planet in the solar system. And as expected, Voyager spotted unknown Uranian moons, 10 more than were known, bringing the total to 15. But little Miranda stole the show. It is Bill's emotional tug, or even some cosmic the moon apart. Voyager also scrutinized the rings of Uranus, or an even larger cosmic collision. Uranus may have been knocked sideways by a spectacular crash with an Earth-sized body. Voyager took 4 more years to reach Neptune and was now 12 years from home. The view from Earth. Like Uranus, Neptune displayed a magnetic field out of sync with its rotation, tilted some 47 degrees. The planet rotated every 16 hours. Compared to Earth, Neptune is a giant, but it's slightly smaller than neighboring Uranus. Neptune upwards from the eye, the great dark spot every 18 hours. A tempest as big as Earth. Before they turned out to be clumps. Its atmosphere hydrogen, helium, and a touch of methane. Methane absorbs red light, giving for its last mission to Neptune's biggest moon, Triton. Voyager, moving at immense speed past the moon, fired maneuvering jets to align for sharp photography. The probe beheld a strange world in its last frozen eruptions. Nitrogen, a retrograde orbit. And strangest of all, with its trail emphasized in black, a geyser of nitrogen. Triton probably once orbited the Sun, but passing too close to Neptune, it was captured. Out here, with the Sun almost 3 billion miles distant, Voyager's work was finished. It would leave Pluto at the solar system's edge unexplored. Seen through a telescope on Earth, Pluto is just a blur. Through the Hubble Space Telescope, it divides in 2. Pluto has a moon, Charon, that's half the size of the planet. They are tiny frontier worlds that for the time being we can only guess at. Far from the paths of the Voyager probes as they plunge into the galactic depths. A job well done.
The moon landing